meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. The state of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City, mailed to the Current, the Daily Journal, the Hamilton Gazette, and the Hamilton News, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. And I just want to say, as we pray today, I ask that we keep our healthcare providers and emergency responders in our prayers. As our nation is once again seeing surges of COVID and cases in hospitals in several parts of our nation are reaching capacities. So Heavenly Father, guide us that we may be productive leaders of our community, direct our actions and decisions, O God, for the service of others. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, well, I'll stand and face the flag. Okay, attention, salute. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we will have a roll call.
Ballas.
Here.
Bertino.
Here.
Corsi.
Present.
Days.
Here.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
Risley.
Here.
And Kern.
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from June 15th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the June 15th, 2021 minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Any comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes. Anyone that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and town you reside. If you're attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You'll be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside. Okay, and we are going to start with the appointment of Maria Mento to the Atlantic County Utilities Authority. And that brings, we're going to interview her first and then do the resolution. Okay. Maria, do you have any comments? Would you like to come up and see if anybody has any questions? Do you want to make some comments first?
I appreciate the consideration.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope you received my bio and resume, and
Yep.
You can see the experience I've had related to the County Utilities Authority. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You can take it off if you want to speak. Yeah, that's fine. You're
So
not
it's an honor to be
anybody.
here. I've been here a long time, but I've been here quite a few times. And I appreciate the opportunity. I've been looking forward to this and hoping to get appointed to this for a long time.
Okay.
I invested, I think, so often I see people leave organizations, they spend a career and for whatever reason just going on, I don't know why, but it gave them their livelihood, it gave them their, retirement, and they don't stay connected. And I think that's wrong, and, I've been wanting to stay connected for a while.
Thank you for
Bring
that.
something back to the table.
And you have new revisions to ACOA recycling items. Do you have anything to tell the public about that? I think we have
Is
plastic
this
cups,
the,
containers.
cups?
Yeah, I think it's plastic cups, containers,
Anything
number one, number two.
anything that can be added is a positive.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's a glimpse going into the right direction, because I know a lot of items were no longer acceptable, so.
And we know you're also very involved in Ventnor.
Yes.
If you want to give
Whoever
us any
called.
updates on Ventnor or anything, feel free.
I'm having a blast. I can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
Really can. Yeah.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have any questions, probably? Commissioner Rizzo?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. We are so fortunate to have you. You have an impressive, spectacular background. You're going to do a wonderful job, and I thank you for coming forward and volunteering your time, because this is a non-paying position, and you're giving back, and that's what it's all about, and you have the depth of experience that you're going to bring to the board, so we're happy to have you. Grateful. Thank you.
Did I hear Commissioner Gatto?
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. Hi, Maria. Sorry I can't see you
But I echo the sentiments that Commissioner Risley just mentioned. For those that don't know you, they should read your bio. You have a very impressive bio, and I've gotten to know you through our work on with ACCC. My only question that I have for you is, as a former executive at the ACUA, and being so familiar with particularly the financial aspects, like, you're going to be comfortable as a board member now, kind of poking and prodding people who are in those positions now, like a vice president or a CFO. Are you going to feel comfortable doing that?
Absolutely. I don't have any qualms about it.
Okay. Hopefully they don't either.
Yeah. We all
Thank
have
you.
good relationships, and there's the right way of doing things and probably a bad way of doing things. So hopefully my poking and prodding will be done the right way.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Gatto. Do I have any other comments, questions from the commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner?
thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to hear you want to do a give back after being the executive director. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Some people leave public office and public service, they don't want to get involved no more else, but you're glutton for punishment apparently. You like what you do, and we thank you. I thought this was a good lead way in to what I was going to talk about later on today. As you coming on as a commissioner on the board, I hope you keep an open mind. As you know, and it's no secret what's been happening in the city of Pleasantville for the last couple of days about no dump in the city of Pleasantville. I would hope, as the representative of that district of Pleasantville, if you're not aware of it, Pleasantville is interested in the transfer station in the city of Pleasantville. For some apparent reason, the authority decided to go out over the last couple of days and begin to put up all kind of signs, no dump in Pleasantville, which is one, misleading. And two, I think, and I hope that you would keep an open mind here what the mayor has to say of the city of Pleasantville and the members of city council and the city of Pleasantville has to say about the transfer station, as well as what revenue generated that will help for the city of Pleasantville. I support the transfer station over there because the administration, being Mayor Ward and most members of city council, support it. But this is an issue, Madam Chair, that started under Mayor Tweedle. And it's carrying on under Mayor Ward at this time, something they really want, and we would hope that you do not get sidetracked by the negativities of the signs being out, because it's misleading. No dump in Pleasantville. It's not about being a dump in Pleasantville, it's about a transfer station at the old press site. And Mayor Ward has indicated, as you know, she serves on the board as well, but she happens to be the mayor of Pleasantville. And they support it, and we would hope, as the commissioner of that district, I wholeheartedly support the residents in the administration in this transfer station. As I indicated, it's revenue generated. And anytime you want to sit down and talk about it, do a ride through, Pleasantville's no stranger to you, so you know the ins and the outs. Some folks are arguing now because they're trying to make a case. Dump trucks and everything else is going to be going through the city. We need to kind of kill that myth. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Competition is good for the business. Let's be clear about that. Just a few months ago, and I'm done. A few months ago, ACUA didn't have a problem going out for bids to transfer stuff down to Cape May County. Nobody objected to that I'm aware of. Now that you have a transfer station that wants to come to Pleasantville, all of a sudden the authority is adamantly opposed to it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I think the fairest thing to do and the right thing to do is to sit down with the administration in Pleasantville, hear the pros and the cons, not just you. You just happen to be on the agenda today. But I certainly challenge the other members of the board, as well as the executive director, who I think I have a good relationship with, but nobody's kind of reached out to us. And I know some of my colleagues has probably received some phone calls regarding to this transfer station. So with that, I'm going to stop. I'm going to vote for your resolution. But my point, I thought it was a good lead way in because I was going to bring this issue to my colleagues again today. I think it's a disingenuous, a disservice that the authority is doing against the administration in Pleasantville and to the residents. They have reaped the benefits for so long. And again, let's sit at the table. We can agree to disagree. And at the end of the day, we've got to say what's good for the residents. And as long as it does not increase the tipping fees on the county level, we should not be objecting to it. And so I think that's the mayor of Pleasantville's position as members of city council as well. So I look forward to dialoguing in the days and weeks to come with not just you, but other members of the commission. Thank you. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair?
Yep. Commissioner Bertino?
Yeah, thank you. I hear the comments from my colleagues on the board, and well taken and well understood. I think for Maria's background, I think it speaks for itself. Any of us that have worked with her through the years, as her time was on the authority, know she's a stickler for details, and she always does her due diligence to make sure every decision she makes is the right one. And I know she'll continue to do that in her new role, looking out for all the residents of Atlantic County in her new position, which is keeping an eye on the board. So she knows her role. I know she'll do an excellent job. I look forward to supporting her appointment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further comments?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner
Of
Ballas?
course, right? First, just want to say congratulations, and I hear exactly what Commissioner Gatto, Bertino, and Corsi say, and that was one of my concerns. Being a long-time member on with ACUA and building great relationships with them. Of course, we want you to continue them, but also be able to, split what's right and what's wrong as being a board member and a director of them instead of a co-worker of them. I think it's exciting that you're coming on, and I think that you're going to do a great job there.
Thank you.
If you knew me when I worked there, I could be the biggest stickler on something if I didn't agree with it. So,
Perfect.
I never held back, and it was a great relationship because I didn't hold back. So, but hopefully I do it in the right way, like I did it in the right way then. So, I don't think you have to be worried about me being biased because I worked there, because I've always approached everything I've done with what I feel is the best for everybody concerned.
Awesome. We appreciate it. I really enjoy seeing women get involved and be leaders in our community. We need more women to step up and be leaders because, as they say, you want the job done, give it to a woman, it'll get done, as you know. Sorry, Jared.
Thank
Jerry,
you.
he's gonna throw you under the bus, right? Go ahead,
You
Jerry.
can say whatever you want. I don't have to deal with it.
Okay, do we have any further comments? Okay, that'll bring us to Resolution 424.
Appointment of Maria K. Minto to the Atlantic County Utilities Authority for a term to expire on May 1, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made second. Any further comments from the commissioners? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, that goes into our second appointment this evening of India Still to the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. India, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I hope you had a great trip. I heard you just got home recently.
Yes, and I'm a little bit ahead of you on the clock, so I'm fighting jet lag here.
Okay, would you like to make comments first before anybody has any questions for you?
Well, yes, thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I appreciate this opportunity to come before you for an appointment to the board, the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. I feel that my background and experience as an attorney who practiced in the area of real estate development and also my several years of community service has prepared me for this position. I am familiar with a few of you as we've crossed paths on some of those past community service experiences. And I think my record as being somebody who's committed to the community stands on its own. I'm a hard worker. I enjoy volunteer work. And in fact, this past, my present job actually has made me want to get more involved at the county level in terms of having some board experience. So with that, I'll just leave it there, and I'm willing to answer any questions you might have.
I would like to say it's quite an understatement when you say a few years of community service. I think you've been involved for many, many years and quite a few, areas of interest throughout our community. Do I have any questions or comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I may, and certainly I congratulate India as well. India, my comments to you would be as the last comments, that we hope that you would keep an open mind, as you may have seen. Well, strike that, as lawyers' term, strike that. But the fact you haven't been here to see it, but the last few days in the city of Pleasantville and along the outskirts, there's been signs put up, no dump in the city of Pleasantville, being spearheaded by the authority, which I think is a distant service to the city of Pleasantville, the residents, the city administration. They support a transfer station that started under Mayor Tweedle a couple of years ago. Now Mayor Ward is the mayor, and they still support a transfer station in the city of Pleasantville. One, it's revenue that the city could use, and also it can opportunity for jobs. I've been told from day one it will not increase the fees, tipping fees, and I think that's been the county's position all along. Long as we don't continue to increase the tipping fees. However, the city administration in Pleasantville supports it, is a district in which I represent. And at the end of the day, I support it, they support it, they want it. But the authority has gone out with whoever's authority to put up signs paid for by the authority to say no dump in Pleasantville. Again, it's misleading. It's not fair. And if they had that big of an issue, they should have sat down with the administration to talk about it. But it didn't just happen yesterday. It's been going on for a couple of years, talk anyway. So I would hope that you, again, keep an open mind, sit down with the mayor of Pleasantville and the administration, get their point of views. Again, we can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, it makes sense for the city of Pleasantville. And as the elected district over there, I certainly stand with them and I support them. And I still question, and there's something I'm going to be checking with the administration, who authorized them to use county money, printing, and if I'm not mistaken, there's someone on the board who has a printing company that needs to be checked out as well. So I'm questioning if there is some appearance of a conflict. I said all that to say, I know you, I know your work, and we hope you keep an open mind and be willing to meet with the residents in the city of Pleasantville.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, and
This is
any
for the
other
improvement
commissioner?
authority, not,
Yeah.
Not the improvement,
she's killed for the
improvement
improvement authority, not ACUA.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. I'm saying corrected.
Yes,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
I took my glasses off. Thank you. Why didn't you stop me earlier?
Madam Chair.
I would never.
That'd be the first time.
So,
But congratulations, but I'm glad you heard it anyway. You might have to go to the improvement authority for something, so don't worry about it.
Mr. Ballas is looking at me like,
Madam Chair.
But if anybody else has anything in regards to Atlantic County Improvement Authority questions or concerns.
I got excited.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ballas.
Thank you. First of all, just want to say congratulations to India. I've been a longtime board member with her on Avanzar, which was prior to that, the Women's Center. I was the president and she was the president. If anyone is going to do a great job on this board, it will be India. She's done a phenomenal job with Avanzar. Been through many meetings with her, SOPs and everything else. And I'm not sure if I can vote for you or not. I'll have to ask our attorney, being we're still on the board together. but you're an attorney, you can probably advise me too. But again, congratulations, and I would hope that all of our commissioners would support you in this endeavor. You're going to do wonderful.
Thank you.
I don't think you have a conflict, Frank.
Madam Chair?
I don't think that situation creates a conflict for you.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Commissioner?
Thank you. I've known India for a number of years, and I've known her to be a thoughtful, just, and fair person. I fully support her appointment and know that she'll do a great job for the county.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments or questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Martino.
thank you again. India as well, I concur with my colleagues. Your resume is outstanding, and your commitment to always doing the right job and seeing it through is an extremely important role for anyone that wants to serve in any county government or state government or anywhere. So I know you'll do a great job at the Improvement Authority, looking out for all the residents in Atlantic County and making sure that the projects that come before that meet the criteria that you'd be satisfied with and concur with. So I support your nomination here for the board. Looking forward to it. And congratulations again. And look forward to working a little closer with you on some new projects in the future.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other?
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just briefly, I just want to say congratulations. This is an extremely important board, extremely important to the welfare and to the expansion of our county economically, which is so very important that we diversify and keep diversifying our economy in this area. And it's just a critical role. Your resume is impressive, and I just want to say welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any other comments or questions from the commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Gatto.
Thank you. India, hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that our paths haven't crossed. I'm surprised they haven't crossed with a number of similar things that we're involved with, but I hope to meet you in person in the future. I really loved one thing that you said in your cover letter, talking about your work with the Atlantic City Initiatives Project Office. You said you've concentrated your attention on building bridges between the city and the county. And I really love that. And I love you've been engaged with not only the Improvement Authority, but the Economic Alliance, workforce development. And I really think that experience coupled with your professional experience will not only serve the ACIA well now, but no matter what happens with the state and their relationship with Atlantic City, I love the continuity of your experience staying with us here in the county. So I'm really
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments or questions? India, I just want to say again, I know how committed you are to this community. You've proved it. You're kind, you're hardworking. And if anybody has ever watched your workout routines in the last couple of years, they know how dedicated you get to anything you're committed to. So we greatly appreciate you being involved and once again contributing to our county. Okay, that brings us to Resolution 425.
Appointment of India Peacefield to the Atlantic County Improvement Authority for a term to expire on May 1, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Motion been made in second. Any further comments from the commissioners? Anything from our public? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you again, India. We appreciate all your commitment.
Congratulations.
Very much.
Okay, that brings us to our ordinances. We have ordinance number 7 for a first reading.
An ordinance to vacate.
Oh,
Came on.
did he have something to say?
He put his video on.
Director Lamy, did you want to make some comments? Is he there?
do have a comment on the screen though from Michelle Brunetti.
Good afternoon.
The sound.
There's John.
Yeah, so I just would like to welcome Ms. Still to the board, and I think she is going to be a great addition, and look forward to working with her.
Thank you,
for-
Director Ling.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you. Okay, ordinance number 7 for the first reading.
An ordinance to vacate and abandon an existing site triangle easement along 3rd Street at Arena Court in Hamilton, identified as block 2201, lots 11, 11.01, 11.02, and 11.03, first reading.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, and since it's a first reading, we don't have any public comments at this time. We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
yes,
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 374.
Open Space Trust Fund Tax 2021, final reading.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Motion been made in second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, just
Commissioner.
have, for Jerry, I assume this is why that, the towns haven't been able to send out their tax bills, correct? And once we pass this tonight, do you have any idea of what the term would be so the municipalities can get those tax bills out to the public?
I spoke with Mr. Zandri, and he thinks they're gonna get out pretty quickly. I can't give you an exact time frame. I think he needs to just work with the towns to resolve it. I think there's at least one town that had not submitted their budget as of last week, so that was another issue. So hopefully they've submitted their budget by now, and this should finalize the bills going out.
Okay, because there was some towns that told that they're still waiting on the county, I wasn't even aware of it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Do you have any other commissioners' questions or comments? Seeing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
yes,
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, as many of us have seen in the headlines over the last couple of days, the federal aviation moratorium ended this past Saturday. The federal eviction moratorium ended this past Saturday. New Jersey's moratorium will remain in place until January 1, 2022. If successful with the grant application, additional funds will be available to Atlantic County residents. The pandemic has impacted both tenants and landlords adversely. This grant will hopefully ease that impact. So that brings us into Resolution 401.
Grant application and acceptance from the United States Department of Treasury for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program 2, amount not to exceed $8,885,539.20.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
Regarding the open space. I have a comment.
We have a question from the open space one? Okay, we'll go back. Well, let's end this one and then we'll just go back. How's that? Okay, but we have no questions from the public on this one? Okay, we'll have a roll.
Could I give out a little information about this program?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just think this is a good spot to mention it. So my name is Bob McGuigan. I'm the CDBG director with the ACIA. So this is the second part of this funding, the second tranche. We got the county got $7 million previously to this, and we've been working with. We've had our program open for about 2 months, and have spent about almost $600,000 of that for about 66 tenants to pay their arrears up to 12 months, 15 in certain circumstances. It's a very successful program. It's going great. I love spending this money here and helping people here in the county. We encourage any tenant that has that meets the criteria. The criteria is it's pretty simple. It's you had to have a COVID hardship, which is defined as either losing your job, being on unemployment, losing shifts, having increased expenses, or getting denied a job that you applied for during the pandemic. You have to be 80% of the area median income, which is a quick test that we have, that we have a chart to show you if you are or not. And then finally, you have to have housing instability, which is either you owe money in your rent or your rent is more than half of your monthly income. We do all that math here and do the determination. What I suggest people is to reach out to the authority through the website, which is the best route and the quickest route to get your application checked out, and that's acianj.org/applications. That'll take you right to the application. You click rental application and you can get it started. If they need help or we need to mail them an application or help them with an application, they can please call 609-343-2390. That's our main number, and we'll be happy to take their information and get them the application and any other help they may need.
Oh, great. Thank you for being here. You mentioned a chart that they can look at to review. Is that on your site as well?
It's right on the site. I'm gonna I'll send it to Ms. Harris. We have two information sheets that explain. They're one-page sheets that explain exactly what I just said. They have the chart on it. They're in English and in Spanish. Feel free to distribute them far and wide and send people to the site. We have a lot of federal money to spend, and we want to help people clear their arrears. We can actually pay them for prospective rent as well, 3 months at a time if they meet our criteria.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then once you send it there, we'll send it out to all the commissioners because we get a lot of questions on these things these days. So
yeah,
greatly appreciate
please do.
You being here.
You're welcome to contact me. Like I said, 609-343-2390. It's one step away from right to my desk.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, Commissioner Bell.
Yeah, can I just ask Bob a question?
Yep.
Sure. So Bob, I know it's been a little while now, when we got the 7 million, and you're saying we've only spent down 600,000 of that. Now we're going to be taking on another almost 9 million. How much longer do we have to spend down the 7?
Okay, so we got the $7 million. I think we did all of the all the legwork for back in February and March. The program didn't open until June, so we've spent just about $250,000 a year or $250,000 a month. We think that'll grow a little higher, closer to 300,000-400,000 a month. We have until for the ERAP 2, we have until September 30th of 2025 to spend it.
That's this money.
That's the money that is on right now. The previous money we have until, I believe, I would have to look it up to be sure. I believe it's through the end of 2022.
Okay, so we have enough time to be able to spend down close to 15 million.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any other questions or comments, especially for Bob?
Madam Chair.
Yep, Commissioner Gatto.
Thank you. Bob, I hope when you send over all that information, you're going to send that website you referenced to, because I couldn't write it down quick enough.
Oh, it's okay. It's right on the information sheet. It actually has a link on the sheet. I tried to make it as easy as possible.
I just wanted to see, there was an article in the Galloway Patch on July 31st that referenced that there's approximately 25, I think, million dollars in arrears in Atlantic County households for back rent, and that makes up approximately 19.5% of rental households in Atlantic County. The survey they reference in the article was done by a group called Sergo Ventures. And I just wondered if you were able to validate those stats. Do those stats sound right? Do you have any information on that?
So I don't have any information on those stats directly. I know that we've been in touch with the courts and the folks over there, mostly giving them this information, telling them, hey, send people our way. There is a tremendous amount of arrears. I don't know if the number is $25 million or not, but I mean, we are right now. We're having a steady but not overwhelming number of people apply.
Okay.
We'd love to see, there be more, more people apply, because I think we could up our numbers a little bit, and possibly if we need to, we can bring on more staff to get it out. So I think a lot of this is letting people know, we've been here for it's been 2 months. So more and more people are calling every day. We're actually getting a fair share of landlords now calling and saying, hey, I heard about this, how do I get my tenants involved? And so that's helpful, because you run into, sometimes you run into a landlord with multiple tenants, and, they can really make the system, they can get the leases easily for people, and, the things we need, they can really make the system work easier. So I think it's good. I think we do have a large amount of arrears out there. But luckily they gave out this tremendous amount of funding, which we want to, get into the hands of the people that need it.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd just like to comment that Commissioner Gatto's point illustrates how important it is to have a robust marketing plan and push this information out. You can't depend on people to know everything that the county has available to them. And these are people clearly in need. We have now $15 million, as Commissioner Ballas said, and it sounds like more than $20 million of people who owe back rent. So this money could be used immediately if people knew about it. That we need to get the word out. We proactively, not wait for people to come and ask us if we have it.
Okay, do we have any other?
Madam Chair, I have one more question.
Yep.
I have one more question for Bob. So in order to receive, for the landlord to receive the money, the tenant has to be a willing participant in the application process?
Yes, it was designed by U.S. Treasury Department as a tenant-facing program. The landlord is they're allowed to assist the tenant in filling out the forms and all of that sort of thing. What they are not allowed to do is sign off on it for them, or they also need the ability to get to some of their some of the tenant's documents. So really, the tenant does need to be a participant in order for it to happen. But we've have a number of landlords who have who've done a tremendous amount of the legwork in order to get the funding that has cleared their tenants' arrears.
Okay, the point was, I just wasn't sure where the onus would have been, if it was on you to determine if it was a legitimate claim, or the landlord was getting fed up unnecessarily. But it makes it sound like both parties need to be willing. So thank you.
Yeah, we signed an agreement with both parties, so we have to have sign off from both.
So just so Bob didn't go through, but when we met with the courts, they had something like 240 cases that are there that are in arrears.
Right.
So, I mean, in terms of, going and physically dealing with people that have arrears, the courts are doing this every day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how many cases they get because I don't see them. But, Bob, at some point in time, will get those cases that are willing and meet the criteria that Bob has spelled out. There's a lot of money there that's in arrears in the court, so.
Right. And the money goes directly to the landlord, not passed through the.
Right, but my point was, I know that there's some people that are choosing to not pay who are capable of paying, and I just wasn't sure where the onus was to determine make sure the people that actually need the money are getting the money. So.
Okay, do we have any, and Bob, again, thank you. A lot of great
Michelle has
information.
questions. Michelle
You have a
posted.
couple questions.
Michelle Post has questions.
Okay, I was
I don't know if
going
you
back to
bring
the
her on
public.
or what you do.
I was gonna go back to the public. We're back to the public? Yeah, is it for the previous one, the 374?
This.
Oh, both, okay, so let's finish this one. So whatever she has for this one.
I did have one for this one too.
Yeah, Michelle, we'll just address this one right now, and then we'll go back when we finish this.
Okay, so can I go ahead and ask it?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm just curious, how could you still qualify to use this money in 2023 for, when it has to be COVID related? I mean, don't we need to spend this more quickly than that?
Well, so you want my answer, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. So what the nexus of the issue, you have to have a COVID hardship. So once you have that COVID hardship, it could be it just has to be sometime during the COVID health event, health emergency. So if you were on unemployment during that time, you then you check the box for COVID hardship, which opens the door to the program for you. And then you also have to meet the other requirements of being LMI and having a housing instability. But so it's the original nexus of the issue is the COVID hardship. I agree with you that we want to spend this money as soon as possible and help people clear their arrears as soon as possible, because the tenants are carrying a large burden. So we want to do it as soon as possible. But my answer to the Commissioner Ballas was that the grant says that we have until 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Do we have anything else from the public? Hello, Mr. Creed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Creed Pogue from Estelle Manor. Just as a point of edification, the second round is part of the American Rescue Plan. And so as we discuss the COVID stimulus from December, which was the first round, and this round of money, we should all keep that in mind when we talk about, so many trillions and everything else, but this is money obviously to help a lot of people in need. And obviously we can be concerned about how that's administered and how it's done and all those other things, but if we didn't have that approved, we wouldn't have it to work with. So
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Do we have anything else from the public at this point? No. And anything else from the commissioners? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Rutino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days? Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, now that's going to take us back to Michelle. You had a question on the previous.
Oh, yeah, I did. Can you explain a little bit about the open space funding and why it didn't get voted on with the rest of the budgets?
Jerry, can you jump
Okay,
in?
Bonnie's on.
Is Bonnie on?
Bonnie do this with the budget subcommittee. Bonnie, you want to go through what you went through with the budget subcommittee on open space?
It's a separate issue.
Yeah.
Right, so the open space tax, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
There I am. The open space tax resolution is a separate resolution from the county budget, library budget, and public health budget. It's done independently. It is, this is the final reading for 1/2 cent of 100 evaluation for open space in 2021.
Michelle, does that answer your question?
I was just curious if there were any issues that prevented it from coming up with the other budgets, why it wasn't voted on, at the same time as those other three. I was just curious. If there were
I'm sorry.
specific issues.
No issues. I mean, generally, we do them independent of each other.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Okay, that brings us to resolution 402.
Amending resolution number 122 adopted March 2nd, 2021, Atlantic County fiscal year 2019 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Block Grant Program and the Home Investment Partnership Program, no additional amount.
So moved. Second.
Motion been made and second. Any commissioner comments or questions? Seeing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 403, please.
Grant application to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Atlantic County fiscal year 2021 to fiscal year 2025 consolidated plan and the Atlantic County fiscal year 2021 annual action plan to the Community Development Block Grant Program and the Home Investment Partnership Program. Amount not to exceed $1,851,108.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, anything comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 404, please.
Grant application and acceptance from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Continuum of Care for the Homeless Grant. Funded amount $21,782. Cash match $5,446.
Move.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any comments or questions for the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, anything from the public? I'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Bertino? Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 405.
Grant application to the New Jersey Transit Corporation for calendar year 2018, Federal Transit Act, Section 5310 grant funding, funded amount $77,000, in kind $77,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? I'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 406.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of the Attorney General for the Stop Violence Against Women Act grant, funded amount $79,317, in kind match $20,028.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments or questions for the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? Have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Kern.
Yes. Motion carries. Resolution 407.
Professional services agreement with Dr. Christopher Lucosti, DO, for consulting physician for communicable diseases and bioterrorism program. Amount not to exceed $24,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 408, please.
Professional services agreement to establish a pool of medical providers for the provision of medical services to inmates at the Atlantic County Justice Facility. Amount not to exceed $700,000.
Move.
Second.
Motion been made and second, a few times. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 409, please.
Competitive contract with Caring Incorporated for the provision of adult social daycare services for caregiver and those with Alzheimer's, dementia, amount not to exceed $50,000.
Motion. Second.
Motion been made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing or hearing none, anything from the public? And we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 410, please.
Renewal bid contract with Cremo Land Dairies Limited Liability Corporation to furnish and deliver miscellaneous milk and dairy products to the Atlantic County Cooperative. Amount not to exceed $82,246.89.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 411.
Renewal bid contract with various vendors to furnish and deliver miscellaneous bread and bakery products to the Atlantic County Cooperative. Amount not to exceed $88,006.87.
Move.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to Resolution 412.
Bid contract with Arawat Paving Company Incorporated for the County Highway Improvement Project Phase 2, Clark's Landing Road, Head of River Road, Moss Mill Road, and Summers Point Mays Landing Road. Amount not to exceed $1,547,900.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 413.
Amending Resolution Number 441 adopted September 29, 2020, lease agreement with 5218 Property Limited Liability Corporation to occupy 11,800 square feet of office space located at 5218 Atlantic Avenue, Mays Landing, for the special needs of the Atlantic County Board of Elections to extend the term date. Net increase $83,585.
Motion. Second.
Motion been made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Risley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be voting in favor of this because the Board of Elections has to comply with the law. Although it sickens me, quite frankly, of all these changes we've made, the state has made, regarding elections for the state and procedures, it has greatly increased the costs. These costs are going to have to be paid, whether it's state tax dollars, county tax dollars, whatever it is. The cost of elections has skyrocketed. And years ago we ran elections, ran them very fairly, correctly, efficiently. And we knew the night of the election who won and who lost. And now we're going to have this expanded voting. We're going to have all this, and it's going to come at a cost, a great big cost. And the taxpayer should know it. That this is the cost of 10 days early voting, paper ballots. This past election, the one I was involved with, was all paper ballots. In my mind, it was unnecessary. And this is the cost. So I will be voting for this to support the Board of Elections. But all these costs, quite frankly, sickens me.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Chair.
We have Commissioner, okay, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. I just want to say that expanded voting and giving people greater access to their right to vote, the greatest right that we have as Americans, may come at a cost, at a monetary cost, but I believe it is certainly worth it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ballas.
Madam Chair, thank you. I guess for Jerry, and I'm not sure whether he can answer it or not, but it appears, I guess if we can tell the future that this is gonna go on for a long, long time, us having to rent this space. Would it be advisable to look to either buy that building or build something out in that area? Because I don't see it coming to an end, and we're already up to, what are we at now, $240,000. And if you add more years onto this, we're gonna well exceed whatever it would cost to either buy or build something that would be ours, and we wouldn't have to go through this.
We're gonna have to sit and talk to them. I mean, I can only tell you, we've looked for space for them. This is some, like 11,000, I think it's 11,800 square feet. And what I understand, they use most of it. I've seen some of the space. But like Commissioner Risley said, they're using it right now for the count, for the at-large. They store all their bids there. And so, you know, there's going to have to be long-term discussions. We've looked for, just so you know, we looked for another location, which we did. We walked the Board of Elections through there. They didn't like the space, although it had a very large warehouse connected to it where they could have done some storage. So at some point, we're going to have to have that long-term discussion. We will have to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because, you know, God forbid, say this, you know, you have this recount and say they rent that space out to somebody else, then what do you do?
Right.
Then we're stuck.
Right.
You know, and we can't, I mean, special elections and recounts and all that stuff, they're in our future.
Yep.
And we have to be able to plan for it. Yeah, like Commissioner Fitzpatrick said, it's gonna cost a little bit of money.
Right.
But, you know, we have to have that space available for them to complete that process. So it'd be better if it was actually our building and they had that option, and maybe you could use it for something else in the meantime. Just my suggestion.
Sure.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I mean, just as a follow-up to that, I mean, I know NJAC said that there was some money in the state initial legislation talking about early voting. And if this, obviously this isn't gonna go away at this point, is there any talk, have you heard anything about the state? You know, the state mandate, state pays, I guess it's gone now, but I mean, you know, they're telling us we have to do this.
These costs are covered.
These costs are,
And
okay.
And early voting is covered. Yes,
Okay.
they've sent out a memo.
Like completely, because I heard the initial amount was minuscule, but divided up amongst the 21 counties.
Well, just so you know, early voting is absolutely covered.
Okay.
They've gotten the, so let's talk about the superintendent of elections is responsible for the machines and the e-poll books. They've gotten a letter saying these are the number of machines that you're required to have, and they're going to pay for them. They will also pay for the technicians and the work would have to be done to make sure that the machines are operable and that everybody's being trained correctly. The county itself is, just so you know, the long term for the board or for the superintendent is to get new machines.
Right.
Obviously, you know, we'll have to pay attention to when they get purchased, how they get purchased. And they need space in Northfield, and we're looking right now at, and you voted on it, we have a consultant on board that's doing a design for us to build our own warehouse for facilities, and we would free up the space for the superintendent of elections. So we're moving in those directions now.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. Do I have any other, Commissioner Gallo, did I hear you?
Yeah, I just want to say if there is discussion or a subcommittee with regard to this space, I would definitely like to be included. Especially, I'm hesitant to add another building to our list of facilities to have to maintain, and particularly take one off of the tax rolls in Hamilton Township, where percent are already non-taxable. So I would like to be part of that discussion.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioner comments, questions? Anything from the public? Mr. Pogue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first part is I would say to my friend Commissioner Risley that there are less expensive ways to select our leaders. But I think as Winston Churchill said, democracy's the worst if you compare it to all the others. And so also looking at return on investment, the dramatic increase across the county, not just in a couple of municipalities where sometimes people like to talk about, but across the county, was a very substantial increase across the board. And that was in part from the multiple paths to being able to vote. And yes, that is apparently going to be our future for that, because again, we want more people to be able to participate. Also, for this particular situation, there was obviously a lot of litigation and back and forth on it. It was strange that there was the legislative minority in Trenton that had a task force on election procedure that said there should be an automatic recount on anything that's 0.5% or less. We may well have had this all resolved had we gone along, we the county, gone along with that at the beginning. Also, I don't think I have a conflict when I say it this way, but I wound up helping out for a few weeks at the county election board when one person was out sick for a few weeks, and I was part of getting involved with 5218. There are a set of unique requirements for elections administration. One of the problems is, particularly now, you are storing a lot of paper, and paper is very sensitive to climate. And then you're wanting to have a nice big open space. So therefore, you can have one blue team and one red team, not using the D and the R words, as observers when at each station when the counting is done. And so those, unfortunately, in the county, we don't have a lot of those spaces. And then also, and I realize what Commissioner Gatto was saying, but there is the fact that one of the large county post offices is located in Hamilton. That is the county seat officially, et cetera. And so there's those other considerations. I don't know if that leads us to the purchase of a new facility by the county being the best way to go, but that would certainly be a path that should be considered long-term as we're going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Poe. Do I have any further comments or questions from the commissioners? Anything more from the public? Okay, well, to have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Yes. Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 414, please.
Acceptance of deeds, easements from various grantors in accordance with Atlantic County planning standards, no cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing here none. Anything from the public? Have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 415, please.
Interlocal services agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority for the administration of the United States Treasury COVID-19 Emergency Rental Assistance Program 2. Funds, amount not to exceed $400,000.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions, comments from the commissioners? Seeing here none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 416.
Alternate method contract with Atlantic Care Health System for COVID-19 testing of residents at the juvenile detention facility at Harbor Fields. Now, not to exceed $40,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing here none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to 417.
Contract with Rutgers State University of New Jersey for the provision of dental services for Atlantic County residents, amount not to exceed $107,500.
Move. Second.
Motion made second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 418.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the New Jersey Administrative Office of the Courts for the provision of support services to the state, revenue generating.
So
Motion.
moved.
You're a little slow on this, guys, you know? Was there a second?
No.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
No. Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 419.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority to administer the Clean Communities Program, amount not to exceed $108,673.95.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to Resolution 420.
Extraordinary unspecifiable services contract with Insurance Agencies Incorporated for the purchase of a treasurer's bond, amount not to exceed $1,166.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 421.
Memorandum of Agreement with Teamsters Local 331 Board of Elections and authorizing a formal written collective bargaining agreement incorporating the terms of the MOA for a 3-year period commencing January 1, 2020.
Move.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Oh, Mr. Oh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just hopefully a quick question. Understanding obviously the extraordinary circumstances of COVID, and by the way, no, I'm not a member of 330. But understanding those circumstances, and so therefore we're 18 months into a 3-year term, a little more than 18 months now. How many other, does anyone know how many other agreements there are that expired in 2020 or earlier that are still being negotiated?
Yeah, I think there's only one more left. And I think it's the superintendent of elections is the last one, I think.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, any other comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Recused.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to 422, please.
Approving an agreement to transfer title and possession of 3 Atlantic County vehicles that are no longer in the use to the Atlantic County Utilities Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 423.
Resolution approving form agreements for the Atlantic County Radio Network with various Atlantic County municipalities, emergency response agencies, and other entities, no cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Seeing here none. Anything from the public? We'll have a roll call.
Ballas? Bertino?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It was my job to watch you.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
You can tell you haven't been here in a while.
Just trying to get a handle on this, because this seems to be something that had already been in effect, and so in essence, it would sound as though the commissioners are being asked to provide authorization for something that already de facto exists. Or am I having a misapprehension here? And then the other question would be, at this point, how many municipalities are participating in the radio network?
Well, the reason for the resolution is they've updated the contractual language, so it's all going back out. I believe every town is in, and there's several school districts as well.
Thank you.
It's basically just the new language when everybody decides.
Thank you for clarifying, Terry. Okay, we'll have a roll call. Did we do a roll call?
Yeah.
We started, did we finish?
We did. Okay, Ballas?
Yes, again.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay. What's that? What's that?
Yeah, and then 426, because you brought the other two up.
What's that?
Oh, I was just saying we're at 426, I believe.
Yeah.
Plus homemade soups and salads. Enjoy delicious chicken, veal, or pasta.
Time for commercials.
Okay, well, resolution 426.
Should we combine and adopt them too?
We combine and
Well,
adopt.
okay, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution 426 and 427.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments from the commissioners, the public? I'll have a roll
Chairman
call.
threw me off. I had to wake
Ballas?
everybody up.
Yes.
Bertino?
Threw me off.
Commissioner Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. We have resolution 428, it's been withdrawn. So then I'll entertain a motion to add resolution numbers 429 to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioners, motion been made in second. We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 429.
Shared services agreement with Cape May County for Public Health Officer Services for Atlantic County. Amount not to exceed $40,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Any comments or questions from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, should we just?
Well, I'm gonna, Jerry, do you have?
So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, Ms. Diamond is retired. Her official retirement date is like October the 1st. However, she is officially on vacation for August and September. I explained she originally was leaving August 1st. And we had a long discussion about if she could just, wait until, October the 1st. And she is. And I'd like to introduce, just so everybody understands, Pat Diamond was the only license we had. In the state of New Jersey, public health officers must be licensed by the state of New Jersey. Pat was also the department head for human services. So we have what we call a division director for the Division of Public Health, who is not a licensed individual. That person retired, Ben Knapp. You all probably know Ben. We have a new division director, Ms. Jansen, and she is on and Ms. Jansen will be sitting for her license in November. So in order for a public health unit to be functional in the state of New Jersey, you must have a license. So we've discussed with Cape May if they would be willing to have, his name is Mr. Kevin Thomas, be that individual, and they've agreed to that. So that's what this agreement allows us to do, is to allow Kevin to work with Kara on issues when the license is required.
And there's a time frame when you can get the license, right?
There is. I mean, right now, the only time that the test is given between now and November is November, and so therefore, we'll have Kevin working with Kara during the time period. But Kara is worked for Public Health at one time, and I'd like her to, if she's on, I see her, she could just explain what she did while she was at Public Health. Then she moved, she can explain where she moved to, and we interviewed for this position, and she was selected. So Kara, if you're on, if you maybe want to explain your background a little bit.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you, Madam Commissioner and Madam Chair and Commissioners for having me. Yes, I'm newly appointed. I am the Acting Division Director for Public Health. I've been in this role for 3 solid weeks of crash course. So moving forward, I feel that even just this work experience will have me well prepared for the health officer exam in November. I did work for Public Health, and I was an environmental specialist, environmental health specialist. I sampled water, handled nuisance complaints, did noise complaints, a lot of direct work with the public. And the last 5 years, I have been over at Intergenerational Services. I ran a unit over there, adult case management, mainly working with adult protective services. Again, another role, a lot of direct line with the public, working with the law department. I do feel like I have a fairly good handle on how we do county business, and transitioning to this new leadership role seemed like the right step. I do wish that Pat Diamond was here to offer a little bit more coaching, but we did have 3 very intense weeks, and I look forward to working with Mr. Thomas from Cape May County to continue my education.
Thank you, Kara. Jerry, did you want to add anything more?
No, that's
okay.
fine.
Do any of the commissioners want to ask any questions or comments at this time?
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner Gatto.
Yeah, I know us on the budget committee, when we found out Pat was, I guess, retired, although unofficially, we were a little taken back. It's sad that the last meeting we had Pat report out that we didn't kind of get to say goodbye to her publicly. I know we've recognized her efforts with a proclamation, particularly her efforts through the pandemic, but I just want to publicly say thank you to Pat. And we also had the opportunity on that budget meeting to informally meet Kara, and I think we have every confidence in you, and we look forward to working with you. Stepping in during a pandemic, I think if you could do it now, you could probably do it forever. So I just wish you the best of luck, and just know that we're all here to support you as much as we look forward to you supporting us with our questions and concerns. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, and I do believe that was Pat's choice. She wanted to go out. She asked for not a lot of people. A few of her staff got together, from what I understand, but we're going to bring her back and embarrass her again. So, okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, that concludes the written portion of our agenda. Do I have any reports of special committees of the board? Okay, seeing none. Any unfinished business?
Madam Chair, I just want to explain briefly, if anyone wasn't aware, why my resolution 428 was withdrawn today. Unfortunately, we had a state trooper pass away unexpectedly last week. He was a Smithfield resident, and the Galloway Ambulance Squad, along with a lot of the other first responders, have been asked to assist with the trooper's funeral today in Galloway Township. I do want to acknowledge Lieutenant Razukis and his family, and wish them Godspeed, and let them know that we're going to keep them in their prayers. I do have every intention of bringing the Galloway Ambulance Squad back at some point to recognize their efforts in distributing the vaccine across the state of New Jersey. But they had a very good reason, and I had a really good reason for withdrawing that today. And like I said, I just want to keep the Razukis family in our thoughts and prayers if we can.
Yeah, our condolences to them and their family with the fire department as well. Thank you. Okay, we have any other unfinished business? Okay, seeing none, any new business?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. I have two things. The first is the Purdue Sackler family opioid lawsuit is coming to settlement, and I wonder if Atlantic County is getting any allocation of funds from that?
We are in that lawsuit, and we have as you know, we have a law firm that is working on our behalf. We're not sure exactly how much money we're going to get, how much money is going to be out there altogether. So we're waiting for that, but they are representing us, and we're very familiar. I think it's $4.5 billion is the settlement, something like that. A lot of money.
All right, thank you. And then can I continue with my second one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so May 18th, at our May 18th meeting, we had resolution number 276 approving the leasing of golf carts and utility vehicles at Green Tree Golf Course. Did we revise that that resolution at all? Was there a change order in that? I couldn't find one. Jerry?
Not that I know of. I mean, my understanding is they're in.
Yeah, except they're gas powered. We approved electric golf carts.
That might have been the only one that they had at the time. I will check with John. I am not familiar with the fact that they're gas, so I'll have to check with John. I know they were delivered, so.
Yes, they are all gas. They were delivered, and that's not what we approved. So please find out about that. They're noisy and smelly, and people have been calling me. Besides the fact that that is a step backward. We are supposed to be moving away from fossil fuel vehicles, not toward them. We replaced electric golf carts with gas-powered golf carts. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do we have any other new business? Okay, seeing none, we've received copies of written communications and petitions. Any commissioner comments or have anything that they'd like to bring up at this time?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, Commissioner.
So I don't want to be redundant, but I can't get away from it about the dump. And so what's going to happen is that the city of Pleasantville will be holding a meeting on the 16th to talk about the trash transfer station. And the residents will get an opportunity to again hear, speak, or ask questions at that meeting. But I'd be remiss if I didn't again direct my question, Madam Chair, through you to our county administrator. And that I am questioning, and Jerry, maybe you can help me, who authorized the authority to, one, print signs, put them out, misleading, talk about a dump. Two, it's been brought to my attention, allegedly there's a member on the board who also has a printing company and that it might have been printed in this company. Don't know, I'm asking, can you investigate it? Okay. The other question is that who gave, if anybody gave the authority to the executive director at the authority to do a campaign like this? Was it voted on by the board, that board? I know that they will say, or the county will say, and I kind of almost know the county now, that we really don't have any authority over that authority. Well, I agree, but I disagree as well. They come to us to budgets, they come to us for monies, they come to us for, they have county cars, county employees. And my point is I'm making, Madam Chair, is they had county employees or the authority of employees using county cars on county time, putting up signs up and down, whether it was in Pleasantville, Galloway, etc. Who authorized it? Where does it stop? Now, I know, and you know, most of these executive directors in county business doesn't do anything without getting authority from somebody. I have my own suspicions, but I'll keep my powder dry until a later date. But I'm asking that you do an investigation. If the other board members are not interested, I am, to find out who authorized it, if anybody. And if there was not authorized, what is the penalty to the executive director and those who use a county vehicle with county tags on it? We've got the videos, you got it, the administrator, the county executive, he gotten it. Most of us on the board have gotten it. And the gentleman that was out there on that one particular road indicated that Mr. Dobie sent him out to put up the signs, him and other people. I hope this is not no power play. I hope this is not somebody trying to, take advantage or at least mislead the public. I'm very disturbed about it because I think it's a misleading of what they're doing to the city of Pleasantville. As fast as they take the signs down, they're putting them back up. Mm-hmm. That's manpower, that's vehicle, that's gas. Who the hell's authorizing it? Again, it should have been some kind of conversation with the city of Pleasantville. And again, this is something that didn't start yesterday, a couple of years now that I'm aware of. And more importantly, the mayor of the city of Pleasantville sits on the board. You don't have no damn respect for the person that sits on the board. At least have a conversation to talk about whether we approve or disapprove, or agree to disagree, and then you do a full-blown campaign and nobody has nothing to say and nobody's answering the question. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I'm asking that some kind of investigation or some report be given back. I can tell you right now, there's a number of members of City Council in Pleasantville who supports it, as well as the mayor. And I'm not saying everybody in the city of Pleasantville supports it, and I'm not saying every council member in the city of Pleasantville supports it. Matter of fact, I had one a person called me and indicated they had questions, legitimate questions. Are trucks going to be riding through the city of Pleasantville? How is this going to help the tax base or revenues in the city of Pleasantville? Those are all legit questions. But I take exception to the fact that they just, I'm assuming that, and I should not do that, Jerry, they just took it upon themselves to go out and do a campaign. Website, the whole 9 yards. And nobody saw it coming. It was orchestrated. It wasn't somebody to sit in their kitchen, in their living room and hand read them out. They went to a printer, had it professionally done, and it's all over the place. And I think it's wrong. Again, as I stated earlier, competition is good for the business. And nobody said a mumbling word when they went out to bid to transfer trash down to Cape May County. Didn't hear nothing from the authority. Because Pleasantville is asking for a transfer station. Now it's a campaign. Can't have it both ways. Now, we can be professional about it. They have to do what they have to do as well in the city of Pleasantville. I can tell you the mayor and them are not happy. It's more like a backdoor, dirty, low-lifted campaign that someone orchestrated because they're afraid of competition. I like to be proven wrong. I think it's wrong, and I'm asking you, Madam Chair, through you to our administrator, I'd like to have some answers back, and if my other colleagues don't want it, that's on them, but I'm asking for it.
I can't answer all of them. I can only tell you, they never discussed that with county government, number one. I got a phone call from at least one of the commissioners and 2 haulers asking the county why we were out there. So you got to understand, we were not out there. County government was not out there. And this is unbeknownst to me, and I've asked other people in Kane County if they knew that the authority had gotten vehicles with CG licenses. So about 3 years ago, they discovered that they were eligible for CG license plates at a cheaper rate than the regular, what would be a regular commercial licenses. So they went out and got CG licenses. And I got to be very honest with you. I called them and said, you're not allowed, you can't use them if you're going to do this campaign. You must use non-county CG license plates because people are calling me and the county executive, he's calling me, the county executive, saying, why are we having people out there putting signs there? I said, well, we aren't, Daddy. I said, we're not doing that. I said, they got CG license plates and so I've asked them to take them off the road. And I was told that they were going to do that. So, and with respect to the signs, I mean, I can certainly ask them who made the signs, but I can tell you this, they were putting the signs in our right of way. So I'm getting calls from the ACUA saying, why are you taking our signs down? And because you're not allowed to put them in our right of way, period. So I don't know how many we took down, 20, 30 of them because they were putting them in, or as a matter of fact, they were putting them across the street. And they actually had them, believe it or not, here in Northfield. So I called Greg and said, Greg, take them all down. Have somebody go through any of the rights of way in Pleasantville and in Northfield in particular in front of the Stillwater building and take them down if they're in our right of way. If they're not in our right of way, then we have no control over them. So I'm only telling you, so they had to come over and pick them up.
So Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not questioning your modality.
Yeah.
I am puzzled as hell now that they went out and got county government tags on a vehicle that y'all had no idea they did it.
Well, I didn't know.
Hold on, let me just finish. Because these tags didn't just show up. These tags been on these vehicles for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And y'all didn't authorize it. But they're going around, as far as I'm concerned, the county is responsible because it says county government. Now, somebody's got to take, everybody's going to pass the buck. We're not going to pass the buck. County's going to have to take responsibility as well because apparently the authority went out and got tags with county government on it that y'all didn't authorize. But since you know y'all didn't authorize it, you should have them all removed. It's almost like a private entity, so to speak. Would you agree with that? But they're using county tags.
Well, I would defer to county council on that one.
But
you know.
you get my point.
Yeah.
You get my drift.
I know what you're saying.
Again, I don't want to start passing the buck. Because I almost assume what Ferguson's going to tell me. And he's probably right, but it still don't make it right. Because the perception is that Atlantic County allowed this to happen. There's no way around it.
Well, I mean,
So, but going forward, Jerry, all due respect, again, I'm just asking for an investigation. Who authorized it? I know they're going to say we don't have no authority over them. And some of it I agree, some of it I disagree. When it's politically expedient, we have authority over them. When it's politically incorrect, we run for cover.
well, let me be, I'm going to say county council is here, so county council wants to correct me. So on their day-to-day operations, technically, we have no authority. We don't know what they do day-to-day. I mean, we know what their functions are, don't misunderstand. But their day-to-day operations are beyond our jurisdiction. Now, when they take action as a board and as an agency, and it is part of their minutes, county executive has the right to deny the minutes, and he could veto that. So he has that authority. But day-to-day, we do not. I mean, and I see Jim is on, so Jim can correct me. I'm just saying, so on a day-to-day basis, you know, they hire, they fire, they do all the same things county government does, and, you know, without our knowledge. So if this never came, and it never came, I can tell you right now, this was never in their minutes that they were going to do this. So the executive would never have known that they would have taken these actions.
Again, Jerry, you could be 100% correct, and I'm not questioning your modality or your dudality, but I am questioning that somebody knew something was going on. It had to be an orchestrated campaign from within, and did the board approve it? I don't know that. You don't know because you said it wasn't in the minutes. You might have missed it in the minutes, right? Somebody had to give them authorization to go do what they did, and vehicles that says county government on it. There's no way around that at this point. It's still county tags on those vehicles. The question now I have for you, are we as a governing body going to say remove county tag? Because they technically, you didn't authorize it.
Do we want to hear from Mr. Ferguson?
Well, Fergus can speak after I'm done.
Oh, okay, I just.
He's not gonna
wanted
talk
to-
while I'm talking. No, he's not gonna, I'm asking a question.
I thought he could answer your
He
question.
probably can, Madam Chair, but I just wanted to finish my question,
Okay.
so I don't have to keep rebuttaling it. I'm just trying to put it all out there. Because that is a serious question. Do we remove those county tags? Or are you gonna authorize them to have county tags?
Well, I would defer to Jim
But
on
thank
that.
you,
I
Matt,
think
too.
they have that right, so. Jim, are you there or?
Wake up, Jim.
Mr. Ferguson?
Well, I mean, he may be.
Oh, I think he's somebody.
I think he's trying to log in. No?
I will.
Well, I'm fine if you don't come on, and then you can give me the information, I'll be
Yeah,
satisfied.
that's right, that's good, I'll do that.
And I think everybody would like to know that information as well.
And Madam Chair, I don't want to relay the point, I didn't want to cut you off, but you know, my memory's not that long, so I gotta get it in when I can.
Nor is mine, so I do the same thing, so this is.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I have one more thing also. Earlier, actually over the weekend, most of you probably don't know, some of you might have visited Reverend Bay, Ezekiel Graham Bay from Union Baptist Church in Atlantic City had passed away. He's been the pastor there for 33 years. I meant to do a moment of silence when you did the prayer, but he has been inspiration in the community for 33 years, and we certainly send our condolences out to the family, who happens to be Reverend Bay, is my understanding, the godfather to former Commissioner Ashley Bennett, and I'm asking that the next meeting, we prepare a resolution sending our condolences to her and to certainly to the Bay family.
And I believe there was a request for that, so we'll make sure that.
And then finally, let me, again, on the 16th, there will be a meeting in the city of Pleasantville to talk about the transfer station. And I think that's all I have for today.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Do I have any other commissioners under communications and petitions?
Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Bounce.
Who do you want?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
Mr. Bounce.
I just want to follow up on what Ernie had said. Jerry, just trying to figure out what authority we actually have over their authority, the Atlantic County Utility Authority. I mean, we did resolution 422, taking back possession of county vehicles, but I just heard that they're not county vehicles because they're county tags.
That resolution there, they had somebody come over to our, the county yard in Northville, and they saw these old vehicles sitting there, and they asked, "Can we take these vehicles and use them on our property?" So we let them take the vehicles. They got, I think one has got like 150,000, I think the others have like 190, 200,000 miles. So they're not even gonna go on the road, they're gonna be used on their property.
So we're transferring vehicles to them,
them,
not to us.
That's
Got it.
correct. Yep,
Okay.
that's correct.
But we appoint people to their board.
And that's where the executive has the authority to veto minutes.
But that's it.
That's it, the day-to-day operations, it's the same way with the ACIA. I mean, like John's not there, I mean, they can tell you themselves. Day-to-day, we
Right.
don't know what
No,
they
of
do.
course, of
Right.
course.
So we give ACIA money, just as an example, so they get the HUD money, they get the ERA money. So you saw that $16 million at 7.2 and like 8.8, that's like $16 million of that money. They get the CDBG fund and they operate. But on the daily basis, we have conversations, we meet to talk about what they're doing. But in general, and do they advise us what they're doing? Yeah, but not everything, and we don't know everything that they're doing on every single day. I'm only telling you.
Right.
Just like we don't come here and tell you everything we're doing every single day. That's all I'm saying. That's what happens. They're an independent body. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with independent authorities. I mean, you guys all look at the state. Look how many independent authorities, and look at some of the things they do. And the governor sits there and says, "What the hell did they do?" It's the same.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing.
Right. So as this, I don't think this transfer station's going away. As this proceeds, is there any role that this board is going to have in either approving, denying, or having any say whatsoever on whether that goes into the city of Pleasantville?
I was asked the question. My understanding is they have to make application to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, SWAC. I think Commissioner Bertino sits on SWAC. My understanding is they made an application and they've gotten, a response from SWAC that they have to follow up on things that they have to do. I mean, that's my understanding. And so there's a long list of things that they would have to do.
Right, but SWAC's not this board.
Right. And so if they do it, I believe at some point in time, whatever SWAC agrees to would probably come before this board. At some point, I think SWAC's recommendations come before the board. I believe is what happens.
Okay.
And again, Jim is there. I mean, I will get the exact procedures for you, and I'll give you the exact procedure. But that's what I believe happens.
Right, but we don't have any oversight or any investigatory powers over the authority, correct?
No. I mean, what the actions they were taking, we didn't know about. They don't have to tell us.
Well, whether you knew about it or not, I'm just saying, does our board,
No.
can we question their actions?
Oh, yeah, you can certainly call, if you wanted to call them and ask them to answer your questions,
Well,
you can do that.
Any citizen can do that, but I'm talking about our board.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Right.
Oh.
But you can't just say, I don't believe, again, Jim's there, I don't believe you can just tell them that you can't do that.
Mr.
No, but I
Bertino.
think, Madam Chair.
Jerry,
Yeah, Jimmy there?
Jerry, it's Jim.
Yeah, good.
The recommendations that SWAC will make do eventually come before the freeholder board or the commissioners, the county commissioners for approval. I don't recall exactly what those procedures are, but I know at some point it comes before the Board of County Commissioners. As to the issue that Commissioner Ballas raised about inquiry into the actions of the Utilities Authority, that's something that I don't believe the board has that authority. They could certainly ask and question someone and ask them to come before the board, but I don't believe that they have any power to compel somebody. The county executive, of course, under the statutory framework that creates the Utilities Authority, has veto power over certain actions that they take, and that's statutory. And when they have their monthly meetings and they pass various resolutions, those minutes come to me. I review them and pass them along to the county executive, and anything that he disagrees with, he has the right to veto. Now, in the almost 18 years that I've been county council, I can only recall that happening on 2 occasions that he has asked me to draft a veto statement for him. And the rest of the time, it's pretty much pro forma. So in terms of the board being able to call Mr. Dovey or anybody before them and conduct an investigation, I don't know that, I'm not aware that there's any power for them to do that. That doesn't mean that they can't ask questions, and the issues or anything that the Solid Waste Advisory Committee or SWAC does will, if there's to be any changes to the SWAC, that would come before the Board of Commissioners for review and approval.
Madam Chair.
Um,
Madam Chair.
yeah. Commissioner Bertino.
Thank you. There's a little bit of discussion going back and forth just for the board's edification. When an application or an applicant comes for review, that application sent off and ACUA, part of its due diligence, has to review the application, which they've done. We're still waiting, and I'm still waiting for a SWAC committee meeting. We haven't had one in months. And I believe hopefully now with the COVID issues, coming to a little bit of a close, whether they want to do it by WebEx or however, we should be having a SWAC committee meeting. We haven't had one. So I'm hoping that that comes when that application gets reviewed. SWAC will come back with some recommendations of pros and cons. And at that time, I'll be reporting to the board all the information that you will need to make an informed decision.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Bertino. Commissioner Corsi, did you have something? I'm sorry, because you were being interrupted.
Mr. Ferguson rudely cut me off and I lost my throat, so it's okay. I think he kind of.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, don't worry about it. I'm gonna get you back later.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. I just want to say that Commissioner Corsi, I am very interested to hear the results of the questions that you've had. I was actually quite appalled this morning when I was driving to work, and I saw the emboldenment of this campaign by putting one of those signs on county property on the parking lot at Stillwater. The audacity is amazing. So yeah, we want to hear what's going on there. If it wasn't approved by their board of directors, then it shouldn't have happened. And if the county executive didn't get that in their minutes and Mayor Ward doesn't say that it was approved by the board of directors, then something else happened there and that needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chair, one question I do have, I've got to remember. I asked Jerry to check it since Mr. Ferguson has weighed in. The question becomes, since they did not have authorization from the county administration to have county tags on their vehicles, how do we have them removed?
Well, I'll defer to Jerry on that. I believe that would be something that the people out at the Fleet Division of Fleet would have to get those vehicles and have anything removed that it shouldn't be on those vehicles.
I think you might have not been on the line. And I don't want to put words in Jerry's mouth, but Jerry indicated they didn't even know they had the tags until they got a call, something to that sort. But once the authority found out that they could get these tags, apparently they went out on their own and got them. That don't necessarily mean Fleet put them on those vehicles. They probably did it on their own and put them on themselves. I'm not putting words in Jerry's mouth.
You asked me
Right.
to check that, and I'm going to check that.
Okay, so the question becomes, if in fact, so I'm clear through the council attorney, if we did not give them authorization to do that, how do we take have them remove the tag? Because technically, since they're not county employees and did not really report to the county, they should not have county tags.
That is correct.
It's a question.
Jim, I think that was a question, Mr. Ferguson.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that'll have to certainly be looked into. If it's a county vehicle, and they had under whatever pretenses or whatever had use of that vehicle and put something on there that was not authorized by the county, and to my knowledge, there's no indication that that was authorized by a vote of their board. But even if there was, I don't know that not that I don't know. It's my belief that they would not be able to put something on a county vehicle without first obtaining permission from the county. This is the first I'm hearing about this. Jerry said to his knowledge, no one from the county knew about it or approved it. And I thought the question was, well, how do those things get taken off? And, I suppose, an edict would have to come down from administration that those things were improperly placed on those vehicles and should be removed. And then it would be up, I believe, to our people at Fleet to make sure those are properly removed so that the vehicles are not damaged in any way.
So Mr. Ferguson, Madam Chair, if I may, one question to Mr. Ferguson. So the question, I don't know if you were on early when I raised the question, when I talked about the vehicles and I talked about the videos that went to the administration by way of Jerry and the county executive and some commissioners, where they used a county vehicle. Now they tell me that means they're not county employees, correct?
They're not county
Okay.
employees, and they're not our vehicles. In other words, they're not in our fleet. They have their own maintenance, and they
Okay. So
they buy their own vehicles.
right. So when the question came out, they thought they were county employees using county vehicles on county time. So Jerry's indicated, and he might be 100% correct, they're not county employees. They just using county tags, but they were doing this during working hours, and somebody had to authorize it. So was it a management decision? Again, there's questions that can be asked. I'm not gonna hold up my colleagues for it. I think you got the legit what I'm asking for, and I hope I get it in short term.
Thank you, Commissioner, because it's something that was brought up while we're looking at, how these employees were acting, were being questioned on. So this is something that was, came to fruition just looking into these signs, et cetera. So, your points on the other things are.
I'm good. I think Jerry got them.
Okay, do I have any other commissioners' comments at this time? Okay, we'll now open the public comments portion. Anyone that would like to speak, please come to the podium and state your name and town you reside. Mr. Pogue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Creed Pogue, Estelle Manor. Not to escalate this and necessarily get into disagreement with those people who actually do have bar association memberships, but I do have some command of the English language, I hope. And I would suggest that folks take a look at County Code Section 4-10B, which specifically refers to subpoenaing witnesses, as well as the bylaws of this board, Rule 8, which also refer to that. Depending on what is being looked into, but those powers seem to be rather broad, and I believe there are various provisions in state law under Title 40 that provide, even if it's a optional county charter county, for those powers to be there. So again, I don't want to get into an argument with Mr. Andrian or Mr. Ferguson, but a blanket statement that no such power exists, which may have been inferred from some of the other statements, may not be 100% factually accurate. Whether that applies to a county authority that is created by the county and serves under the county, again, not knowing all the facts of the situation, so again, don't want to escalate it in any needless way, but you do have very broad powers as a Board of Commissioners to do fact-finding.
Thank you, Mr. Pogue. Anything else for this evening, Mr. Pogue? Anything else from the public? Okay, no other questions. Okay, any further comments for the good of the order? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Oh, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.